Step into the shadows with me as we explore the world of chilling enigmas where the most perplexing crimes remain unsolved, continuing to baffle even the most seasoned experts. In an age of incredible forensic technology where a single hair or a fleck of skin can unravel a complex case, how is it possible that some of the most notorious crimes in history remain locked away, their secrets buried with the victims? These are the stories that defy explanation, the puzzles that time has failed to solve. Let's journey back to the foggy, gaslit streets of Victorian London, a place of stark contrasts between opulence and squalor. It was here, in the autumn of 1888, that a phantom emerged from the shadows of Whitechapel. He became known by a name that still sends a shiver down the spine: Jack the Ripper. Over a period of just a few months, this monstrous figure brutally murdered at least 5 women, leaving behind a trail of terror and very few clues. The police were overwhelmed, the public was petrified, and the killer seemed to vanish as quickly as he appeared. Was he a doctor? A butcher? A member of the royal family? Theories have swirled for over a century, pointing fingers at dozens of suspects, from obscure immigrants to famous artists. Yet, despite countless investigations, books, and documentaries, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains one of the greatest mysteries of all time. The letters sent to the police, taunting, and signed with his infamous name, only deepened the legend. He was never caught, and his case set the stage for the modern fascination with serial killers, a terrifying ghost story brought to life. Now, let's travel to a remote farmstead in rural Germany, to a place called the year is 1922. Here, a gruesome discovery was made that would haunt the region for generations. 6 members of the Gruber family, including their 2 young children and their new maid, were found brutally murdered with a pickaxe. The details of this case are not just tragic, they are profoundly bizarre. Days before the murders, the father, Andreas Gruber, had told neighbors about finding mysterious footprints in the snow leading from the forest to the farm, but none leading back. He heard strange footsteps in the attic and found an unfamiliar newspaper on his property. A set of house keys went missing. It was as if someone was living in their home, hidden, watching them. The new maid had only arrived hours before she was killed. Her predecessor had left months earlier, claiming the house was haunted. What's even stranger is that after the family was murdered, the killer, or killers, appeared to stay on the farm for several days. The livestock was fed, meals were eaten in the kitchen. A neighbor saw smoke rising from the chimney, yet nothing of value is stolen. The motive remains completely unknown. Was it a drifter, a neighbor with a grudge, or something even more sinister? Hundreds of suspects were interviewed over the years, but no one was ever charged. The Hinterkaifeck murders are a chilling testament to the fact that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we can't even begin to understand. What drives someone to commit such acts? This question is at the heart of criminal psychology, but in unsolved cases, it's a question that echoes into an empty void. Experts are still utterly puzzled by the motives behind some of history's most notorious crimes. Take the case of the Zodiac Killer, who terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 70s. Like Jack the Ripper, he taunted the police and the press with a series of cryptic letters and ciphers, some of which remain undecoded to this day. He claimed responsibility for 37 murders, though only a handful have been definitively linked to him. He was brazen, attacking couples in secluded areas, and seemed to revel in the fear he created. His goal appeared to be fame and terror, a desire to play a twisted game with law enforcement. But who was he? Why did he stop? Despite numerous promising suspects over the decades, including Arthur Lee Allen, the evidence has never been conclusive. The Zodiac's identity is a ghost that haunts investigators. A puzzle with too many missing pieces, the lack of a clear motive beyond a hunger for chaos makes these cases exceptionally difficult to crack. Without understanding the why, the who can remain forever out of reach. These are the cold cases that linger, the stories that get under your skin and stay there. They become legends, whispered about by true crime enthusiasts for decades. Consider the disappearance of 3 lighthouse keepers from the Flannan Isles in Scotland in December 1900. When a relief vessel arrived, they found the lighthouse deserted. A meal of meat and potatoes was left untouched on the table. A chair was overturned, and one of the keepers' oilskin coats was still on its hook. Despite the fierce weather, there was no sign of the men, no bodies, and no explanation. Did a rogue wave sweep them out to sea? Was there a fight? Did they encounter something else? The official explanation was that they were washed away while tending to equipment during a storm, but the eerie, almost staged scene they left behind has fueled endless speculation. These stories haunt us because they represent a fundamental disruption of order. They are real-life horror stories where the monster's never revealed and the final chapter is never written. We are left only with the chilling silence and the unsettling feeling that justice was never served. Often, in these unresolved cases, the clues that are discovered only serve to deepen the mystery, leading to more questions than answers. Think about the famous case of D.B. Cooper. In 1971, a man using that alias hijacked a Boeing 727, extorted a $200,000 ransom, and then parachuted from the back of the plane into the stormy night sky over the Pacific Northwest, never to be seen again. An extensive manhunt turned up nothing. Then, 9 years later, a young boy found a decaying bundle of bills on the banks of the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, but these discoveries only complicated things. It was just a fraction of the total amount, and it was found far from the projected drop zone. Did Cooper die during the jump? Did he lose some of the money and escape? Or did he bury it, intending to come back later? Every cloth, black tie he left on the plane, the partial DNA profile found on it years later. They found Manias, a breadcrumb that leads not to a destination, but to a crossroads of a dozen different theories. It has this web of tantalizing but ultimately inconclusive evidence that makes these cases so utterly captivating and frustrating. From the fog of London to the dark woods of Germany and the stormy skies of America, these chilling enigmas remind us that for all our knowledge and technology, some secrets refuse to be uncovered. They are a stark reminder of the limits of our understanding and the darkness that can exist in the world. The stories of Jack the Ripper, the Hinterkaifeck Farm, the Zodiac, and D.B. Cooper will continue to be told, not just because they are scary, but because they challenge our need for answers and for justice. They are the ultimate cold cases, frozen in time, waiting for a breakthrough that may never come. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you're as fascinated by these mysteries as I am, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world's most baffling cases. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.